Welcome back, folks, to the Small Business Toolbox and to part 7 of this special video series all about helping you to create one of the most important tools to help get your business off the ground, and that is your very own website. I personally think being able to create a simple business website is an essential life skill, and I'm hoping you'll come out of this series of videos feeling a bit more confident about the whole process. In this video, I'm going to give you a complete guided tour of WordPress so that you understand what all the different elements are called, and then you can get on with the fun part, which is adding content onto your website. There's timestamps in the video description below if you want to jump to the particular section that's relevant to you. But today we are going to cover off an overview of what all the different parts of a WordPress website are called so that when we refer to them in the future it all makes sense. I'm then going to explain where all of those elements can be found in the WordPress admin dashboard. We're then going to step back in time to August 2018 so you can see me actually editing all of those bits of the actual website for this channel. And we're also going to have a very brief chat about file types and image sizes on websites. A couple of important points before we start. I'm running WordPress with the 2017 theme, which is still one of my favorite themes that WordPress has ever released. It's free, it looks professional, and above all, it's completely responsive. And responsive means a website that automatically resizes everything depending on the device that you're viewing it from. So whether you're looking at the website from a desktop computer or a tablet or a mobile phone, a responsive site automatically changes everything to suit. If you don't have a responsive website in 2019 going into 2020, you might as well not bother having a website at all. The vast majority of people will be viewing your website from a mobile phone, and if you don't make a mobile-friendly site, you will lose customers. If you want to use a different theme, that's absolutely fine. There are thousands and thousands to choose from. It just means that things will look a little bit different to the way that I'm doing them on my site. We're going to talk a little bit more about plugins next time, but you'll notice there's a few plugins that I've got installed that you might not know about. Don't worry about those quite yet, but I would suggest there's one plugin that you install straight away, and that's called the Classic Editor. If you don't install the Classic Editor, you're going to be stuck with the new awful drag and drop block builder thing that now comes with WordPress as standard, and the reviews of the Classic Editor speak for themselves. Everyone hates the drag and drop editor. So here's the website as it currently stands in 2019. And the way the 2017 theme is designed, you've got this kind of homepage layout, which I'll probably talk about that in a bit more detail on a future video. It's not as complicated as it looks. But all I'm going to do, I'm going to go into just a page and I'm going to show you what all the different elements on here are called within the WordPress interface, because it'll make a lot more sense when you're editing stuff on the back end of WordPress where everything is on the actual website itself. The top here where it says Small Business Toolbox, this is the site title, and then underneath it, where I've got at the minute the nuts and bolts of self-employment, is the tagline. Then this section up here is the top menu, and you can completely customize what's in that menu, or you can even, I think you can switch it off completely if you didn't want it to be there. Then over on the right hand side here, this section here is called the blog sidebar. Now on the 2017 theme, by default this doesn't show up on pages, but I've got a plugin installed that allows me to show the sidebar on pages, and it then just works in the same way as if you were showing the sidebar on a posts page. Then inside the blog sidebar we've got all these little things, and these little things are called widgets. So that's a widget, that's a widget, and that's a widget. Widgets are really powerful in WordPress. They can be used to do all sorts of different things. I mean, this is a very, very simple widget. All it is showing an image. We've got another widget here that does a search. You can have a widget that has a subscribe to your newsletter thing. You can have a widget that shows a menu down the right hand side if you wanted. There's widgets for everything you could possibly imagine. And the widgets don't just have to go in the blog sidebar. I'll talk about that shortly. Then in the main body of your website is the page, in this instance, or post. Remember, pages are mostly for kind of static content. Posts are more for date-dependent content like articles and news information, typical kind of blog posts. This little bit at the top here is just the page title. Obviously, you can also customize things like the site logo here, and the header image here can be changed as well. Then, if we just scroll down on the page, and I'll just scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page, we've got this section here. And this section down the bottom here is known as your footer. And we've got footer 1 on the left and footer 2 on the right. And guess what you can put in footers? That's right, widgets. So this sitemap down the left hand side is just a navigation menu widget. We've got another navigation menu widget on footer 2 at the top here. We've got just a text widget here that lets me add a bit of copyright information. And you can add anything you like in terms of widgets to footer 1 or footer 2. Then finally, this little bottom section here is your social links. So I've got it set up with a link to YouTube, Twitter and Instagram. You can add whatever social links you like. We'll cover that later on as well. It's dead straightforward to set these up. It's basically done with another menu in the same way that you would create menus for like a sitemap or menu at the top of the screen. It's just another menu, but you have to do it in a certain way, but it's very, very simple. Do bear in mind that every theme on WordPress will be slightly different in terms of how all this stuff is laid out, but everything is made up of these core elements of the blog sidebar, footer 1, footer 2, widgets, the main page or post, menus. Everything in WordPress, no matter what theme you use, uses all of this stuff. It's just the theme will dictate where that stuff is on the page. And by changing where it is on the page, you can completely change the look and feel of your website. So as I say, I'm showing you with the 2017 theme. WordPress always release new themes every year or every couple of years. And sometimes they're worth switching to the new themes and learning how they work. And sometimes you might as well just stay on the theme that you're comfortable with. So just to recap, these are all the elements that make up your WordPress website. We've got the site title, the tagline, the top menu, the blog sidebar, the footer 1, footer 2, you've got a page or a post, you've got social links, you've got the site logo, and you've got the header image. You should be familiar with what all of these things are in terms of the front end of the website. So now I'm going to show you how to edit all those things through your WordPress admin console. You will notice that there's a few plugins installed here that you might not have installed on your installation yet. Ignore all of those. I'm going to talk about those in a separate video. But I just want to show you where all of the core elements of your website are located in the admin console so that you can get your own website up and running. First of all, site title and tagline are in settings. Click on settings and general. And there you have it. Site title, tagline. Once you've changed it, scroll down to the bottom and click Save Changes. Your top menu is configured in the Appearance section and Menus. You can create as many different menus as you like. Just click this thing here that says Create a New Menu. I've got mine defaulted onto the bottom menu at the minute. I'm just going to change that to Top Menu and click Select. So now I'm editing the top menu. When you first start out, you won't have a menu there at all. You'll have to create one. So you would just click Create New Menu. Give it a name such as Top Menu. And click Create Menu. I've already got a top menu, so I don't need to do that. To edit the menu, you'd literally just go into, you've got pages and posts and everything over on the left here, you just select the page or the post that you want added into your menu by ticking the box, and you do add to menu. And then the menu system is literally drag and drop. You can just move stuff around wherever you want on the menu. And once you've got it the way that you want it, you click Save Menu. And finally, you need to tell WordPress that this is your top menu, and you do that by scrolling down to the bottom, tick the box that says Top Menu, and click Save. And by the way, this is also where you define your social links menu, which I'll cover off very, very quickly. Literally, all you need to do is create another new menu, call it social links or whatever you want. It doesn't matter what name you give to the menu, that's purely for your own reference. Here's my social links menu here. Click select to edit the menu. And all you do is you add in custom links. You see this custom links here? So you add where you want your social link to link to, what you want to call it, and you do add to menu. So you can see I've got one here for YouTube, I've got one for Twitter, and I've got one for Instagram. And then once you've set up those custom links, tick the box that says social links menu, click save, and then that'll automatically appear at the bottom of the page as a social links menu. Blog sidebar and footer and all that sort of thing is in your widgets section. So just appearance and widgets. And here we go. Blog sidebar, footer 1, footer 2. And over on the left here is all of the widgets that you can add. And literally all you do is drag and drop it wherever you want it. You can drop it into your footer 2, into your footer 1, or into your blog sidebar. If you've dropped something in by accident and you want to get rid of it, click delete. If you've dropped something in and you want to temporarily get rid of it, then instead of clicking delete on it, just drag it into the inactive widgets box down here. And that lets you drag it back without having to reconfigure the widget. You see, I can just bring that back up there. In terms of pages, we've very briefly touched on it. Click on pages, and to create a new page, you just click add new, and then give your page a title, and you just type in this box, add images and everything. It's just more or less a glorified word processor. Once you're happy with it, click publish, and you'll need to remember to add it to a menu or at least link to it from another page or post. And posts work in a very, very similar way. Up on the left here, posts, click add new, give it a title, type your text into the box, add the post to a category, such as the blog category that we've briefly talked about before. Click publish, and then what you can do is you can add that category into a menu so that everything that's in that category shows up. There's a couple of ways that you can get the category to show up in a menu. One really easy way is go into appearance and menus, go to categories on the left here, select blog, and do add to menu. What you can also do if you go into settings and reading, and it's not mandatory to do this and it depends on the theme and various other things, but you can set a posts page. And to do that, all you do is you create a blank page. So I've got a blank page called articles. There's nothing in it. But if I go into settings and reading, I can then set that page, articles here, as my posts page. And then I can either list all of the articles on the website by referring to the category, or I can just display that page. Set up your own posts page and have a play with it. It's not as complicated as it sounds, and you don't need to bother with it at all if you're not using posts. If you're just using pages and you're not really doing a bloggy style thing, then you can just kind of ignore that. The main reason I've done it is because it lets me then put my articles on the home page of the website. You can see here, homepage displays either your latest posts or a static page, and you can select a homepage page and a posts page. Finally, site logo and header image are in appearance and customize, and then go to site identity, and this is where you would change the logo, and don't forget to also update the site icon as well. And then if you go back and go to header media, this is where you set the background image for the main homepage. So with all that in mind, let's rewind back in time to August 2018 when I first set this website up. And I'll just take you through some of the really basic initial configuration for this particular website. Okay, so here's our website as it stands at the minute. Not very exciting. We've got quite a few little bits and pieces to get done today to get this all a bit more operational. So before I start, you are going to need a logo and at least one background image to replace this background image that we've got here at the minute. The logo, I would suggest you just make a 500 pixel square logo to start with and see how you get on. You can always tweak it later down the line. And you're also going to need this big image for the desktop here. And I would suggest you go for 2000 by 1200 pixels for that when you create this background image. I do want to very briefly talk about file sizes on websites, because since internet connections are really fast these days, people have started to get very complacent with file sizes. And back in the day when I first started designing websites, you could not get away with having massive images on websites because it would take forever to load. So I see a lot of websites these days that look stunning, but they're really let down by giant image sizes. And it means as soon as you're on a vaguely slow connection, like through a mobile phone or something like that, it takes forever for the web page to load in. And that will result in customers just clicking away from your website. I just want you to keep a couple of things at the back of your mind. First of all, in terms of file formats, for photographs, generally use JPEGs.jpg files, and for logos and stuff with flat colors on, you're generally best to use PNG files, .png. And in terms of file sizes, for any kind of big photographs, background images, stuff like that, try to keep the file size under 200 kilobytes. And for logos and smaller bits of graphics, try to keep them under 50 kilobytes per image. If you're struggling to get your images that small, post in the comments below and I might make a separate video all about that. In terms of getting an image for here, if you haven't got one that you plan to use, there's a site called unsplash.com. And they are excellent for this sort of thing. So for this, all I'm doing is searching for business stuff. And there's all sorts of lovely graphics that you can use completely for free. Just make sure you credit whoever has taken the picture on your website somewhere. Just give them a credit. It's only fair because these are beautiful pictures that are on unsplash.com. And it makes our life particularly easy. So I've already found an image. So I'm going to use this image here. I've darkened it slightly because we're going to have some white text over the top of this. So we'll see how that looks. And I've also got some logos that you might have already seen me sorting the logos out. So we're now going to log in to the main WordPress control panel. And once you're logged in, really straightforward, we'll create the privacy policy actually. Add new privacy policy. I'm just going to copy and paste some default text into this. Obviously, it's up to you how you do your privacy policy. I'll make that pretty later on. I'm going to just edit the permalink, the address of that, just to be privacy. Just make it nice and neat and do publish. Right, we have the first page on our website, privacy policy. Look, let's click on this. Here it is. So, dead quickly, we're going to go into Appearance, Themes, Customize, or you can just do it through Customize here. Site Identity, and we're going to add our logo icon. Actually, we'll do the logo first. I'm going to do the logo at the top here. We're going to upload a file, and I'm going to have this 500 one here. Go for it. It's fine. So look, we've now got a little logo. And then we're going to add the site icons as well. This is for the likes of like the little, gets called a fav icon that appears at the top here, and it gets used in lots of different places. So select image, For this one, I'm going to use this flat one that I've already got on. So I've got one with a drop shadow and a flat one. I'm using the flat one. Click select. Done. Look at that. Publish. Then we're going to change this background image. Header media. All you do, and you can put a video on here and all sorts, but we're just going to add a new image. Upload file. And where is it? There it is, site background. Small Business Toolbox background. Done and dusted. Publish. Okay, let's have a look at our site. Refresh, F5. There we go. Our website's up and running. Now, we've got nothing on the site at the minute. So we're just going to change a couple of things. We're going to add we'll just have a welcome page. So we're going to go pages, create a home page. I'm just going to call it home. Welcome to the Small Business Toolbox. Click publish. We'll come into all this SEO stuff later on. We're not doing that at the minute. Publish. So we've got a home page. So, back into customize, homepage settings. We're just going to display a static page for now, and we're going to set that to home. Publish. And let's have a look now. Look at that. Let's add a menu. To do a menu, you go to Appearance and Menus. Give it a menu name. I'm going to call this Top Menu. I'm actually going to create two menus here. Do a top and a bottom menu. It's quite handy. We'll do the top. We're just going to add these two in. Add to menu. I'm going to call it a top menu. And that'll do. Save. I'm also going to create a bottom menu. For the minute, this is going to be exactly the same as the top menu, but you'll see later down the line that it's handy to have a separate bottom menu. Refresh your page. Look at that. We've now got a menu. We've got the home button and we've got the privacy button to take the privacy policy. I'm going to add a menu at the bottom of the screen, and I'm just going to do that using widgets for now. I'm going to add navigation menu to the footer. Add, and we're going to, that navigation menu is going to be bottom menu, and we're just going to call that for the minute sitemap. Save. I'm also going to add a little bit of copyright text, which I like to do. And to do that, I'm just going to do text, add widget. Actually, I think what I'll do, we're going to have the sitemap over on the footer 2, and we'll have this copyright text, copyright 2018 Small Business Toolbox. Save. F5. There we go. We've got a little copyright thing there. We've got the home sitemap menu there, and we've got our first page on the website, and we've got the privacy policy. We'll start making it a bit prettier later down the line. We can add new pages. We can add posts. If you're doing a bloggy thing, you would do that through posts. The site's up and running. It's done. So folks, you should now have enough information under your belts to create a basic WordPress website. And for most small businesses, you could leave it at that. It wouldn't be very secure, but it would probably do the job for now. But over the coming videos, I'm going to take you through a whole bunch of tweaks that you can make that will hopefully help your website flourish and ultimately result in you winning more customers, which is really what this is all about. We're going to cover off installing my favorite set of WordPress plugins, backing up and securing your WordPress installation, installing an SSL certificate so that you get the little padlock at the top of the screen, setting up Cloudflare to make your website run as fast as possible. We're going to talk about website privacy and having the attitude of data protection by design and default. This way you'll never need to worry about awful cookie warnings. We're going to talk about search engine optimization so that people can actually find your website. And we're going to talk about website analytics so you know how many people are visiting your site and how much growth potential your business has got. So don't forget to hit subscribe and click the little bell icon so that you're notified about new videos when they're released. There's links to all of the videos in this series in the video description. If you've got any questions or specific areas that you'd like me to cover off, please pop it in the comments below. For now, best of luck on your small business journey, and I shall see you next time. Bye bye.